Next, the ITV news headlines with up-to-the-minute
Embassy this morning shouting slogans such as "Pay blood debts with blood" and "Disband NATO." Later they turned to the US ambassador's residence in Beijing. But the presence of hundreds of riot police ensured there was no repeat of the violent protests by thousands of students on Sunday, which confined the American ambassador to the embassy.
I've had to evacuate my wife and son into another building. We've been in this embassy building now for 48 hours. I think there is some evidence of encouragement on the part of the government. We think that a number of the, or many thousands of the demonstrators may actually be being bussed in.
The Chinese government still discounts NATO explanations that the embassy bombing was an accident. And now the diplomatic ante is being raised. Within the hour, the Chinese have suspended human rights dialogue and suspended military exchanges with the United States. At NATO, the strike on the Chinese embassy was being blamed on disastrous intelligence that led to a blunder with such severe diplomatic consequences.
We have acknowledged where the error occurred, quickly, honestly, in the intelligence gathering process. We have also stated, just as quickly, just as clearly, that the procedures have been reviewed to make it very unlikely that such an error would occur again.
But the bombing continues. Niš was hit again last night, but Belgrade was quiet, not even sounding the air raid alert. Tim Nielsen, ITN.
The Foreign Office Minister Derek
False images of Jill Dando recorded on a shop's security system were handed to detectives in the hope they'd jog someone's memory of the events leading to her murder. The irony is, as a presenter of the television series Crime Watch, Jill Dando herself was no stranger to the power of closed-circuit television as evidence in police investigations. One of the most memorable uses is this film recorded at a shopping mall of toddler Jamie Bulger being led to his death. The footage was used in court to identify his killers. As the quality of CCTV recordings has increased, so too have broadcasters' demands for them. The police are well aware of how important a tool these films can be, but they're also conscious of the need to maintain the public's support.
I have no reservations about the use of CCTV in catching criminals. What is vital is that CCTV is properly managed so that people's individual privacy is not invaded, but that the system maintains public confidence and is still useful in combating crime.
The United Kingdom is leading the world in the use of closed-circuit television. Here in London, it's estimated people pass an average of 200 CCTV cameras a day, on the street, in the office and going to and from work. Much of those pictures are monitored in police control rooms like this one, where they're used to spot pickpockets, thieves and traffic offenders. But it's in the private sector that demand for CCTV is growing fastest. Here in South London, this bistro is one of the growing number of private businesses that have installed CCTV for the general security of their staff and premises. One single camera monitors the bar 24 hours a day. The system was installed by Matthew Laudett's company, one of the several hundred they sell each year. It's a multi-million-pounds business, but he admits it can be intrusive. Can I ask you how you would deal with a customer who was concerned, for example, the tape of them at the bar fell into the wrong hands?
It's an unfortunate fact of life that these things can happen, and unfortunately nobody has control over that.
So you couldn't give them any reassurance?
I couldn't give them any reassurance, no.
And it's the sheer volume of CCTV cameras in our streets and shops that make them such a powerful tool. Potentially, the private and public systems together provide a massive interlinked surveillance system, but one that's also open to abuse.
There's an enormous demand for this type of footage. Clearly, the way that it's used, basically, if it invades people's privacy in the name of entertainment, is that an ethical use of CCTV footage when the people who are actually being filmed don't know that they're being filmed, by and large. And I think where there have been a couple of cases where CCTV has caused problems, and where that's happened, it's basically stuff that's been controlled by the police. It's been sold to a company, which has then sold it onto another TV company and used for a fairly lowbrow piece of entertainment.
This video, compiled from private CCTV material, which was later withdrawn from the shelves, is exactly the kind of intrusion that concerns civil liberties groups. In the case of Jill Dando's murder, the release of this shot of a car that police urgently want to trace is uncontentious. But at the moment there are no hard and fast rules governing the use of CCTV. And with an increasing variety of images available and the growing public appetite for Crime Watch-style programs, broadcasters frequently find themselves having to make their own decisions on what's in the public interest and what's merely an invasion of privacy.
Emma Kennedy reporting. NATO estimates that